So welcome to today's show of Real People. We're going to be talking to a couple of the guys from Have Mercy Las Vegas, local band, great band. But first we're going to be talking to Ross Logan about a new project you've got, Ross.
Okay.
Can you tell us a wee bit about your background? What is your background?
I started dancing when I was probably about 10 at a local school, Sutherland School of Dance. They're actually still running. My teacher's still around. Well, I know, yeah, Mrs S to me, Mrs S, and then Jan was my teacher. Jan's still going strong, still got classes on, and still sort of a life mentor to me, really. I call on Jan quite a lot for things. Yeah. But after that, I moved to London. After I sort of trained in Scotland for a while with Scottish Ballet and with Jan, moved to London, completed my training in musical theatre, and then I went around on cruise ships for a few years, dancing, then on a couple of UK tours and pantos up and down Scotland, and you name it, I was there singing and dancing.
You've been doing that since quite an early age, obviously.
Yeah, it just resonated with me from a really young age. So I was probably about 10. I wanted to go to gymnastics, but the local club wouldn't allow boys back in the day. They said they were too disruptive. Gosh. So
different days now, hopefully.
Different times now.
Times.
Yeah. Everyone's welcome to everything.
And just thinking about the ballet training you had in Glasgow, I mean, that can be pretty tough, you know.
It can be if you're not invested.
Right. People
say ballet's boring. To me, ballet's the most interesting and exciting thing in the world.
A disciplined thing, is it not?
Very, very disciplined, and it's the training. The training is second to none. If you're training in dance, it's really where your core lies, and everything stems from ballet. Everything comes from ballet. So I just knew that it had been instilled in me from Jan. So when I went to the Scottish Ballet Senior Associate scheme, it just heightened the level of training I was getting. And heightened my love for it, really. Okay. Sort of where that was born.
And I guess there's an element of drama in ballet as well.
Yeah, it's all acting.
Obviously, it's all acting.
It's all acting. Got to be the part. Got to look the part. Right. You have to. And as much as these days sort of roles are changing and sort of gender roles are being played with and things, it very much was and will be probably for a while your male and female roles. So you're playing a role, no matter your gender, no matter your sort of status in life. You're playing this role of a male or a female. So you're inhabiting that. So you have to completely embody it, and I just find it fascinating. So yeah, it lends itself well to the sort of the drama world. My musical theatre training was helped, again, aided by ballet. Did
you meet any particular people when you were down in London doing the musical theatre, for example, that inspired you a bit or got you, I don't know, moved you along a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, the staff, I went to Doreen Bird College, and the staff there, they used to bring in sort of like West End stars, really, people like that had been in the West End for years and years. They would bring them in to just do like a one-off workshop with us, right. And things like that. You're just in awe of these people. You're just thinking, I want that to be me. Mm-hmm. So not necessarily big names or anything like that, but everyone that you met was put in front of you for a reason, mm-hmm. And there to inspire you. And I was a sponge. I just took everything. I believe when you're learning and you're in a learning environment, you have to take everything in, and you can kind of like squeeze the sponge a little bit when you're at this point in your life, yeah. And you're going, well, what do I need? But I'm actually still soaking up. I'm still finding things that I'm learning. So I've not
Everybody's
quite got.
A skill day.
Well, that's it. I've not quite got to that point yet where I'm kind of trying to lose that I don't need that or don't need that. Everything's still in here somewhere.
But now it's your turn to hopefully inspire some other people.
That's it.
So tell us about the new project is it Silverton?
It's in Silverton, yeah. It's in Silverton, Dumbarton. So I've set up my dance school, RTL, which did stand for Ross Logan, which is the name I went by. We're recently rebranding. A very clever student of mine said, "Oh, look, it stands for Ready to Learn." And I thought, there we go, light bulb moment. Yeah. So it does.
Don't you have to change the letters or anything?
Don't even have to change it, yeah. So a friend of mine's moved up from London, and it was primarily a dance school. Now he's come in and he's brought some drama. We're going to put on some musical theatre classes. In the future, hopefully near future, we're actually looking to set up some additional support needs classes, some early years classes for pensioners, all ages, and that's all. We can only do that because we found this space in Silverton.
Right. Tell us about the space. Is it a building you've had to really do a bit of work on, and you're still working on it?
We're still working away. Yeah. So we took it on in April, and I mean it was a shambles. There was stuff everywhere. It'd been left for a few years, a good 4 or 5 years, covered in mould. Everything that was in there was ruined. So to do a big clear out, and it's much bigger than we had initially planned. It's an old war bunker, so we're actually still doing a bit of digging on that. I don't have much information on that, but recently we found some poppies painted in one of the back walls, and that just kind of ring alarm bells go, and you think,
It's got a bit of a history to it.
Yeah, let's have a little dig into that. The row of houses behind us are all veterans, so they're veteran houses, and one of the guys has come in and said, we got chatting, I said, do you meet anywhere? And he said, there's nowhere really for us to meet. So we're hopefully going to have them in the next couple of weeks. We've got a dance studio set up, that part of sort of phase 1 complete. Phase 2 we're looking to open a little cafe and then bring in some local clubs. So we're kind of putting out anyone that's got any ideas,
maybe
come to us.
A hub for the
Absolutely. Because really the theatre school that it is now, RTL, we have a home, but we do hope to grow, and we are growing. So the more we grow, we're going to have to look for somewhere potentially to rehouse RTL. When you do that, we want the Crosslet to still be running as a social hub, and and to use the space. We can still keep some of our classes there.
Kind of seed in the area.
That's it,
and that's great, bringing people in to sort of do all sorts of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
So what about yourself? Have you any personal ambitions you want to get to as far as dancing goes, or acting, or is there anything you'd like to do in particular?
I never thought I'd teach. I never thought I would, but I just found the love for it over the past few years. I went back to uni. There's just a shift in how I looked at dance. So for me, it's to continue training, I've sat my fellowship with the Scottish Dance Teachers Alliance in TAP. I'm currently working on my ballet fellowship. I want to do my modern. At that point, you can be an examiner, so I can go out and facilitate exam sessions. Just for me, as much as I can learn and pass on, then I'm there. I'm here for it.
So I guess in the way the reward for you is the teaching part as well.
Yeah. I never thought it would be. As I say, I loved performing. I hung my tights up, as I would say, just after Christmas there. I did Panto in Edinburgh, and that was my last gig as a dancer. So getting past that age where it was acceptable on my body to allow myself to do that.
What was the Panto in Edinburgh, by the way?
I did. It was Peter Pan.
Okay.
At the Festival Theatre.
Festival Theatre.
Yeah. So that was my 10th Panto with Crossroads company, and I've done them in Aberdeen, Glasgow, Edinburgh.
Who was the kind of star in that one?
Alan Stewart, Grant Stott, and Jordan Young, my good pal. Which is great. I worked with Jordan 10 years ago in Aberdeen, so we knew each other for a long time. Yeah, we've worked together a few times over the years. We've done Edinburgh a few times and Aberdeen a few times. So it was nice to work with him, and his wife was the choreographer, so formed a really nice bond with her as well.
That's good. So Ross, where can people find you on social media, for example?
On social media, you can find the new project in Silverton. It's called the Crosslet. It used to be the Crosslet Centre. It's now just the Crosslet. Find that on Instagram or on Facebook.
Okay.
And on Instagram we are RTL Ready to Learn, and you'll find all the timetable about our adult tap classes, and we've got busy adult tap classes, so you'll find all that stuff in there. And same on Facebook, RTL Ready to Learn.
Smashing. Well, listen, I wish you every success, Ross.
Thanks so much.
And your new project in Silverton, and hopefully you'll continue to be rewarded by seeing your own students perform.
I hope so.
And get better and better.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
No bother.
Thanks.
So I just want to welcome a second guest in the show, and that's Crispin and Eilidh from Have Mercy Las Vegas. You've been on the go for how many years now as a band?
We were working this out the other day. It's 14 years.
14, yeah.
2011 we met. Well, you guys have been going a wee bit longer before I joined.
Yeah, well, we were going under my name though, so like I don't think that really counts. We formed the name Have Mercy Las Vegas when Eilidh joined. It was initially just myself and Phil Plunkett, the former drummer, who had the studio in here.
So
and it would
you
just
could
be
have started in here?
Yeah, we actually originated in this very room that we're doing the interview in.
Wow.
And it would be, I had a old 12 track recorder and I didn't know how to work it, and Phil knew everything about this thing, and he came down and he recorded, and his band at the time had not long split up, and they suggested that I get Mark, the bass player, involved. So well, he was a guitarist in the former band, which was the Shakes, which was a tremendous band, and I was gutted that they broke up. But we totally reaped the rewards of it. So what happened there was Mark came on board as a bass player, and he was fantastic, and I met a guy through work who played mandolin and banjos and stuff like that. I'm like, you're the very guy that we're looking for. So with the four of us, we were sort of jamming under my name, Crispin and Eilidh, because we just couldn't think of anything else. And then we played like 3 or 4 gigs, and then from then we were sort of like having a wee party. It was actually after my birthday party where we were in the Moss of Balloch having a jam and a few drinks, and Eilidh, who's got a mutual friend, Gary, was coming down to sit with us, and it turned out Eilidh could play guitar and sing as well, so that's how Have Mercy Las Vegas started.
Meant to be.
Yeah. Crispin asked me to come down and do harmonies on one song, and then I never left, so
and your voices really blend well together as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So it's really nice. And what made you go down that line? That kind of, it's very I call it kind of almost festival music in a way, because you just got that. I mean, not all your songs are fast. You've got some nice intimate ones, but you've got different instruments on there. You know, violins, and you've got the acoustics. What made you go down that line rather than maybe rock or pop or something else?
I did try writing original material under blues or rock, and it just felt more natural with folk music. And at the time that I was going into that, Mumford & Sons was getting pretty big, so we just ended up like, we were heavily influenced at the start with Mumford & Sons, and
I think after that it was just kind of what worked and what was received well, and then we kind of went into that because we enjoyed making music like that, and people enjoyed listening to us making music like that. Yeah. And then it just felt really natural to kind of progress on that way.
Definitely.
Is it the Luminaires as well? They've got a similar kind of vibe as well.
Yeah, and I think we get some comparisons to Fleetwood Mac with a male-female lead vocal thing going on. I think now as we've gotten older and music's gotten more mature, and it's, although it's still festival-y and there's still some foot stompers in there, it's kind of just a slightly different, more mature vibe. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think as the years have went on, our musicianship has got better. We all know our strengths and weaknesses. I know that sounds like a cliche thing to say,
it's
but
true,
we really do.
Because I was saying to somebody the other day, you know, I used to kind of structure harmonies, and I'd be like, oh, this is what I hear, and the same as Crispin, sometimes he'll come in with a tune written, and he'll be like, this is what I hear, and we'll try it, and we'll all do the parts that you kind of hear. Now we can kind of come in, Crispin will bring in a tune, and we all just instinctively find that line, or unless it's something that Crispin has like a vision for, and he'll say, I hear this, and then we'll all try and get that. Most of the time Crispin can bring something in, and within half an hour
we've thrashed
out the kind of bare bones of it.
So I guess you two the core vocally when it comes to harmonies and stuff.
And Mark.
But I was going to say
we miss Mark when he's not there. The wee like third part harmony.
The third part harmony just makes it as well, doesn't it?
And when he's not there at the studio or for whatever, I'm like, oh, we need it. That's it. But
we are spoiled when Mark comes in. So like, we're that used to hearing that sound. And whenever it's not there, it feels like there's something really missing.
And I think if you heard us without that, you'd think, that's nice.
You would be fine.
But it's just the wee extra.
It's another wee layer that makes a difference. And what really started you off musically? I mean, both of you came from different directions and ended up most of it and got together in a way with the band. But how did you start, Eilidh, in music?
So I come from like a really musical family. My family all went to church, and so on both sides, so there was always growing up around hymns and music, and my dad's a musician himself, and he plays in various bands or has done over the years, and there was always good music on in the house, country music and folk music and a really nice blend of stuff, and I was always really encouraged to lean into the music side of things. So I did flute at school as an instrument, and then I did singing at school, and then I was just always singing in the house with my family.
Did your dad teach you any guitar or anything
Well,
like that?
my dad will laugh at this because he tried to, but when I was a kid, my catchphrase was "me do," because I was very self-determined to do things myself. So my dad, too, was like a very accomplished and fantastic guitarist, would sit down and try and teach me things, and I was very determined to do it myself. Even now, you know, I can be playing something, Dad's like, "Oh, see if you just put..." I'm like, "Dad, don't..."
It's very
You
similar.
just put your finger on here
exactly
and you'll get a beautiful augmented seventh, and I'm like, "I'll find it myself, thank you." Like, and he's fantastic, and I don't know why, I've always been like that with my dad. But I love singing with my dad and playing with my dad. We still do that.
Daughter-dad thing though, I think, because I've got similar situation.
Yeah.
I say, "Dad, don't interrupt him."
Yeah, but I look
try
at
to learn with harmony. But I don't,
yeah.
You know, you're totally shattered.
And I really,
I'm like, "Oh, really?"
I really enjoy playing and singing with my dad as well. Like, we still have wee jams, even for my kid, you know, we could be doing nursery rhymes and it ends up in harmonies in the Trotter house. It's like the Von Trapp family. But no, it's great. And I think we both came from very different, but also similar, because we just both grew up with music. It was just part, like,
Were you the same, Chris, when you have those guitars and stuff lying about anyway?
Yeah, it was always guitars
escape.
and musicians lying about. It was a massive family of musicians. My dad in particular, you might know Murdoch, and he was a massive influence in my upbringing in terms of music and stuff. And growing up in the loch and the boat as well, with my cousins and my uncles, and everybody would be round a campfire with guitars playing and stuff.
doing a turn.
Yeah, everybody did a turn.
And there's still that vibe, heavy, still Mackenzie's a Friday
Ah,
afternoon.
yeah, still keeping it going.
Still keeping it going.
But yeah.
Some of my
that's where
fondest memories with you and the band are just going on a boat up the loch and jamming with your dad and his pals, and like, you know, those moments are precious.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the festivals and stuff, because your music lends itself to that kind of thing in my eyes. I mean, I watched Bonnie and Clyde, a few of the videos this morning, and festival. What was your biggest festival you've played, and what was the one you most enjoyed?
We've played some pretty big festivals, but the biggest stage at a festival that we've played is hands down got to be Eden main stage headlining act on Saturday. Fantastic. We were very fortunate with that one, because we weren't supposed to be on that stage. It was a sort of last minute call up, and it was.
So we played that we played that festival, I don't know, pretty much since we joined the band every year, and so when it was Coolio, they was meant to be doing a main stage slot at 10:30 on Saturday night, a kind of half-hour DJ slot, and he cancelled. He was stuck somewhere or something. And I was having an afternoon snooze in my tent, as you often do at festivals, and Stephen came round and went, "Guys, Eilidh, you up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to play the main stage tonight at 10:30? I'm like, "Oh, very good." And then, no, he's like, "No, seriously, Coolio have cancelled and the organisers want us to do it." So that year it was a lampshade theme. And we just looked out on the sea of people with like beautifully adorned lampshades on their head. Everybody put in so much
effort. It was all
effort.
different colours, and it was like the sun was setting, and it was just you're looking out to thousands of people.
How many people do you think were there that night?
Pass. I don't know.
I wouldn't even hazard a guess. It was full. The kind of area that we were in was totally full, wall to wall, right past the sound desk. It was amazing. And that's probably one of the biggest crowds we've played to. And I think we were quite lucky, because they were quite they just turned up and were ready for a good time.
But when you're playing to a size of crowd like that, do you think about that, or do you just kind of get lost in the moment?
I think we try and not think about it. See, like right up until you play the first chord, there's a bit of pacing going on the stage. There's a bit of like,
because we've got so many instruments, we are a sound engineer's nightmare. We've got banjos, ukuleles, mandolins, harmoniums, fiddles, double basses, normal basses, 3 different acoustics that have all got different EQ settings.
When they said you were doing that headliner, the sound guy must have went like this. You know?
I was away for a pint, because I thought it was just going to be a DJ set. So the sound engineers were rushing about, and we went on a wee bit late, and even still the sound on the stage wasn't great, but like the people in the audience, you could feel that they were reacting really well to our music, and they were getting a good sound. So it was that's we worked off of their energy, and it was amazing. So yeah, that was by far the biggest.
And was that one of your favourites, or have you got another one that's maybe a bit more intimate that's you like, particularly like?
I don't know actually. We've just had we've done so
the Barras was pretty good.
Yeah,
But
that wasn't really a festival,
with
but
the band as well to other countries and things,
to England, we've been to London. We did Country to Country Music Festival in London in the O2. That was cool. They kind of within the O2, there's lots and lots of kind of smaller venues, and every single one of them was kitted out with bands all day. And what was really encouraging was when we started, people started getting turning away from that. Like it was like a long restaurant we were playing in, and it would just it'd been all stripped down, and there was a stage in it, and the bouncer had to turn people away, so it was pretty cool.
That was good.
The Barrowlands was a good gig. I mean, we've travelled across all of Scotland. Like I say, I've been in the band since I was 19, and I've seen places in Scotland that lots of people just wouldn't go to, like Tiree, Mull, Stornoway.
Beautiful places.
Just and like even like places on the mainland. Just lovely places. And I tend to find the more north you go, the more well looked after you are. You know, like
that's not to say we're mistreated down south. Sorry,
no offence to Glasgow.
English listeners, by the way, that's not true.
It's just
up your game, England. Up your game.
I just think like hospitality of people who live kind of more rurally is just standard.
Have you met any of your kind of heroes when you've been playing out and about?
Dougie MacLean.
I met Dougie MacLean.
And Archie for the Singing Kettle.
Archie for the Singing Kettle.
Oh, I was made up. That was Tiny Music Festival. I was so happy. After I'd glittered the police officers, there was cops there that were working at the festival, and I was glittering everybody up, as I often do. And this police officer was like, "Do you want to glitter up my squad?" So I was putting glitter on the policeman's beers. And then after that, met Archie for the Singing Kettle. While I was standing talking to Dougie MacLean, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Archie!" Sorry, Dougie, it's Archie. That was a pretty special moment singing Caledonia in the crowd where Dougie MacLean was on it. It was lovely.
Was pretty cool. We played with some massive, great bands. We met backstage Hayseed Dixie, who I absolutely love, and they were just, that way you shouldn't really meet your heroes because they might not live up to the expectation. No, they were everything and more. They were so laid down. They were laid back and down to earth. They were like
really, really nice,
like the right sort of earth people, and they were really good.
So just to kind of get, we could talk all day.
But
there's just you've got a new album out. Well, March, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in March.
What's that called?
Light and Shade.
Light and Shade, and that's available on like usual
Spotify,
places.
iTunes, Apple Music.
Best place for you people to get it
is a hard CD from us. So contact our page, get in touch with us, come to a gig, and we'll hopefully remember to sell you a CD.
That's the best way, folks. CD, because you get like 0.00001%.
It's nice that our music's getting out there on these platforms, but
it doesn't get a lot for you.
No.
Yeah.
But I think we do it for the love of it now.
It's good exposure.
So it's weird as well, because see, when we bought the albums to sell, we got hundreds and hundreds of big boxes of them, and they are selling really well, but we got them back and we're like, right, okay, let's listen to one, and went to put one in the car, and it's like, I don't have a CD player in the car, I'll put it in the house. So I went back to the house, I don't even have a DVD player to play it in the house. I'm like, had to wire up my son's PlayStation to listen to him up. And it wouldn't even play the CD.
Where there's a will, there's a way. People will find a way of playing your
But please
CD.
buy the album, buy the hard
It
copy.
makes a really good coaster.
Buy an old second-hand car to get a CD player. Just sit it and play. But no, it's always good to get your CDs right. Is there anything special you want to promote or talk about that's coming up in the future?
Yeah, there's a few things in the pipeline. We were just talking about that before we started, like, are those definite gigs?
No,
but we'll look, just check out our socials, we're always updating
So
where we're going to be.
to catch up with you, best place to get you is?
Facebook, Instagram.
Right.
Have Mercy Las Vegas.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Well.
You too.
All the best.
Take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye. Well, I'd just like to say thanks to my two guests, well, three guests on this occasion. First of all, Ross Logan, dancer extraordinaire, and also Crispin and Eilidh from Have Mercy Las Vegas. Thanks for coming in, guys, and until next time, see you again.